Hi everyone, this is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, bringing your life in alignment with you. I'm here today to do your weekly forecast for this week of September 6th through September 12th. We're in the second week of September, getting ready to move into the season of fall here pretty soon. I've had a lot of planning and things going on, so I haven't been updating on the channel for the last couple weeks as I am preparing to go on maternity leave and figuring out new content, as well as some kind of last little events going on. So I'll share a little bit more about those at the end of the video, but if you are new here, thank you for tuning in and welcome. If you have subscribed here before, also thank you to my subscribers and for checking out this channel all the time. So what these weekly videos are is just a kind of energetic check-in using tarot, oracle, as well as seeing the kind of astrological shifts that are happening. Not really looking at aspects per se, but watching planetary movements and seeing how that energy might affect collectively. So this is just a general reading. It's not specific to any one person or thing. There could be multiple different meanings, so just take it as it resonates with you. It just may not be your message this week, but it is just a kind of overall look of what you can maybe work with in the week or reflect on for yourself if that's something that resonates. So moving into, we'll get started with our cards. So just for the overall message from the Tarot and Oracle, we had 3 different decks that wanted to come forward this week. So our first deck is the Fairy Tarot. I'm sorry, it's super shiny with the with the ring light. So moving into our first card, we have the 3 of Autumn. This is also the Pentacle suit in this deck. So 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Autumn. Follow your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you do, being compensated for your creative talents. So you are maybe this week investing more time or dedicating more time to your craft. Traditionally, this card also has a lot to do with working with others as well. And sort of building that up, taking other people's talents and perspectives and just working hard towards the same goal. So you could be calling in that energy this week. Maybe you're just working really hard, maybe on your own. You've gotten some new perspectives and information from people you really admire, and now you're kind of putting it to work. Or you have people kind of supporting you in your endeavors and you're feeling more of this drive to go forth and start making it happen. Because the next card we have is the Ace of Winter, and there's a white tiger cub in the background, so that could be a symbol for you potentially. This is also the suit of swords traditionally. Don't be deterred by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately, amazing new ideas that should be implemented. So this could be a new, fresh idea coming in. This could be inspiration and insight that is starting to drive that, whether it came from other people or it's just coming from your own intuitive guidance. There is this kind of fresh new energy that is coming in that's going to maybe give you a new perspective on maybe something you've been working on for a long time but just have kind of stalled out, or it's just a completely new thing that you're ready to invest yourself in. But the communication also, I feel like, is an important thing to point out if you are doing projects with others or trying to gain more knowledge of working towards this. It's really good to keep those lines of communication open and being really clear. So whether that's working with other people or you're just working with that sort of divine guidance or working with that intuitive energy to get really clear about which direction you're going is going to be super important in helping to manifest and make this come together, so that you don't get so deterred if these challenges do come up. So keep your intentions and your ideas really clear moving forward. Okay, and then we have the Six of Autumn, or the Six of Pentacles. So the good you do comes back to you, an unexpected inflow of money, borrowing wisely, or repaying a debt. So this is all about equal give and take as well. Whatever you're putting into this, whatever energy you are kind of investing, you are going to get those rewards just as much in return. And if there are people offering like gifts of wisdom, like gifts of advice, like there's just this new clear-cut thing coming in, make sure you show like your appreciation to that, whether you're showing appreciation to these people that are assisting you, coming in and guiding you, or if it's from spirit. But sometimes even spirit just sends us people in our lives that help us in the most random ways. Sometimes we might get that random investor or that stranger that we talk to that really wants to invest in what we're doing, or we just come upon this sudden influx of support. And so making sure you express your gratitude, and again, that kind of clear communication of what you clearly want might start to manifest these more supportive relationships if you're in need of something financially to help you move forward. So if that's been a concern for some of you, investing this time, maybe you've been struggling with it financially, you haven't been able to approach it, I feel like Spirit is really saying don't worry about how it's going to come, but maintaining that kind of clear channel, that clear vision is what's going to help you get there. All right. So the second deck that wanted to come out is the Goddess Power Oracle by Doreen Virtue. So these are just like goddess supports. You can maybe call on them to help you work with this energy, or they could be someone that you've already been working with. So that's how it could resonate. So the first goddess is the goddess Sekhmet. She's an Egyptian goddess representing strength. So telling you to be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. So I feel like for some of you, this was something you maybe kind of had to put on the back burner for a while, or you were just kind of losing a little bit of speed with it. We have a lot of retrograde energy going on right now. So you could have maybe just pulled back, or just felt like you didn't have the means to really make it through. And she's here to tell you, maintain that strength, not just in, your work ethic, but also in your mentality. Don't let any sort of negative thoughts or ideas kind of get in the way of what you're trying to manifest and bring forward. Because your own strength, your own energy is really what's going to help propel you forward. And then we have the goddess Saraswati of the arts. She's a Hindu goddess. Express yourself through creative activities. So I see this here too with your work. This working energy, like this is sort of a creative, artistic look with these flowers, being made of crystal. This could be maybe a new project that you've been wanting to work on for a long time, or a new kind of work that you recently have felt inspired to do and just didn't know whether you'd be supported in doing it, because maybe it's so out there, maybe it's so different from what you've ever done before. And this is just like saying, whatever is really kind of in touch with those artistic forms, whatever is something that is a creative passion, will really kind of help you stay in line with this manifestation. So don't be afraid to kind of create something new. Make sure you're spending a lot of time, with your favorites, like your music, your routines, whatever kind of helps you bring out that natural expression can also translate over into your work. I feel like this is really a reading about work this week, or what you're investing in. It could also have to do with studies. Sometimes the arts do have to do with school. Like, say you're studying the arts. Maybe you're studying music, or you're wanting to invest more time into your education, and that was just something you weren't sure how to do before. And maybe you need to have some training or get a specific loan to be able to go to school. Like, there was all these kind of things in the air that you weren't sure how you were going to get help there. And so this is saying, like, the more you just kind of hold on to that strength, hold on to that clear intention, and express yourself through these arts, that's really going to come forward to you. So our last set of cards is the Liquid Crystal Oracle. This is like the first Oracle deck I ever got, and I love it. There's a lot of crystal energy here, so I feel it's kind of just pick and choose what's really gonna work for you, whether they're crystals that you already have, or maybe crystal energy that you've been kind of drawn to. This might just be the affirmation of, like, take a little bit of a deeper look at that, but we've got a few crystals here. So the first one that popped out is gold, or the solar angel. So really third chakra energy, our willpower, and that solar, like, fire drive, and just that outward, like, personality. I feel like, and with these lions too from Sekhmet, I feel like this is a really strong support system if you're kind of maybe looking for more of that courage or more of that willpower or push. Gold is a really good energy to work with. Or maybe you are in need of if you're trying to call more of that energy in, or this could be saying that that energy is also coming in for you. So you are going to get maybe this more surge of energy to be able to do these things that you felt like maybe you didn't have the strength or energy to do before. So the next crystal we have is kunzite of heart activation. So this is a pink crystal, and pink is like the higher resonance of the heart chakra. So with this heart activation, again, like the arts and getting this new fresh perspective, I feel like you're switching into something that is going to be much more meaningful. So if you've also been kind of questioning why you want to move into this, or is this really going to be fruitful for me? Should I maybe not do it? And you've had a little bit of self-doubt. This is opening and activating maybe those places that have been a little bit more dormant because you haven't been living to your heart's potential. So this is just an affirmation that you're moving in the right direction. So follow that heart calling, follow that heart space. And then we have Sodalite, new vision. So yeah, that matching kind of color scheme of the Ace of Winter, that new clear intention that's going to be coming through, that new insight. You're going to be looking at things through a completely new lens. And sometimes this can be a little bit shocking to our systems. We're just like, we could have been doing a lot of work over the last little bit. Or it's just kind of one of those epiphany moments that we were not expecting in our lives. So just welcome that new vision. Allow yourself the space to be able to take in and see things from this fresh perspective. Okay, next we have turquoise, or spirit of the earth. So I really love working with turquoise. Turquoise is a very cool stone. I also just think it's really pretty. But that blue color really working with the throat chakra. I feel this is really saying, you know, you're a unique individual, like experiencing your life on this earth, and you were not meant to just live or play it small. You were not meant to live, you know, closed off from your truest potential. You were meant to live from this higher calling heart space. So let that really just affirm to you, if you are looking for that validation or whatever it is, you really only need it from yourself, because you know, you are a spirit of this earth. You are co-creating a better place, and the world becomes a better place the more you work from that heart space, the more you work from your truth and not hide yourself from the world. Okay, next we have Garnet, manifestation of purpose. So with the red and green, again, that kind of really rooted energy, really knowing. This is more like physical, tangible, but it's got that green with like the heart activation once more. So you're manifesting what's really like in your heart, and that is really your purpose. This is a really masculine stone too, since it is a stone of manifestation. There is kind of a lot more, even though we have these kind of heart activation, like feminine sort of energy, there is this really strong drive of like, you know, making things happen, making things appear. So I also see, you know, trust in your abilities to manifest as well. If this is something that's new for you, you know, where you're starting to realize your powers of manifestation, that could be something really fun to start playing with and learning more about. Manifestation power, law of attraction, different things like that. All right, and the last card we have is Chrysocolla of Silence. So this is a super feminine card, so kind of going on to the other end of the spectrum. With going into silence, like making sure you have time to, when we tend to get busy and take in all this information, we don't always take the time to digest it. So making sure you're giving yourself that space to kind of go within and make sure that you are nurturing that creative space as well. You are making sure that you are really being heard the way that you want to be. And sometimes that really takes silence. That really takes a moment to sit and actually listen more than take action on certain things. And again, that kind of balancing act with the 6 of Autumn of equal give and take. Make sure you're spending that time in silence and gratitude for the things that are coming your way, and knowing that you don't have to do anything or act on anything when it doesn't feel right. So know those inner movements, get to know yourself better, get to explore this deeper aspect of yourself. Okay. All right. It's really interesting energy coming up this week. So let's dive into the astrology a little bit and see if we can get a little more clarification as well. So it's Thursday now. Back on Tuesday, we had a new moon in Virgo. So once more, a time to give rather than take. So it's speaking back on that 6 of Autumn energy, where it's like we also have to give. And on your end, you know, if this is not feeling necessarily right for you, this doesn't necessarily mean you have to be giving financially. If what I talked about with the financial struggle was kind of speaking on you, but it's time for you to really start giving your gifts. Virgo is really about being of service, being the nurturer, and this sort of creator as well, this creative aspect. So you could be being called on to be giving us service or just giving of your gifts. Maybe you're not realizing that your gifts are super useful, and what this planet maybe really needs right now. You could be a really potentially big healer, that you could be called towards, with this being kind of more in the earthy energy. I do see that for some of you, where you could be called more towards healing, whether it's nursing or alternative medicine or plant medicine, or something that is actually giving back to society, and is a work that's going to be very fulfilling. So it's time to really give those gifts and be authentic in that way. And the degree or decant that the moon is occurring in is in the last decant of Virgo, which is the second to last decant. Which is represented by the 9 of Pentacles. So this is usually represented by a lone woman who has really kind of created this wealth for herself, who has created this bounty, this place. She's well taken care of. She has no worries because she knows that she has everything that she needs. And you can see that here, where she has this very big sense of freedom, and she has this kind of doorway and portal to her sort of paradise, whatever that might look like for her. And she always knows that she has that place to tap into. It's always available to her. So I feel like, with this a time to give rather than take, don't feel like out of a sense of lack or something that you can't give and receive, because that's kind of what starts to create these sort of disharmonious energies, where we constantly feel like we're struggling because we think we don't have enough. But this is just reminding you that you always have enough available to you at all times. And again, like that kind of solar angel like energy of just being really in your power and really sure of yourself, I think is what's going to be a really big message coming through this week, is that clarity maybe of seeing yourself differently. That could be that shift in perspective, that kind of aha moment of, wow, I really want to value myself. How can I make changes to that? How can I make myself feel valuable and make my work feel valuable? Because Virgo season and Virgo energy, so with this new moon energy, is a great time to really plant those seeds of self-care and ritual and being of service, being loving. But mostly Virgo really loves routine and that self-care aspect and planning and just doing things better, maybe doing like a cleanup of your home or a slight cleanse, anything along those lines of energy to really like tap into strengthening yourself is going to be a really good cycle to do for this next lunar month and for the 6 months following up to the full moon in Virgo. All right, so then on Saturday, we have the planet Venus, which is our planet of relationships, how we relate to others. It's our place of love, but it's also our place of beauty and self-care. It can also be our place of money as well. Is moving into the water sign of Scorpio. So Scorpio is also this sign of really going into the depths, going into a little bit more of the muck that we don't always want to go into, but wanting to really get down to the truth and the deeper meanings of things, and digging into that area. But this can also be a really, really sensuous time. Maybe we're starting to get to know these other aspects of like, what are our deepest desires that we think are maybe these dark desires, maybe just from conditioning or thinking we're undeserving in some way, but just these desires that maybe we've really wanted on a really, really intense soul level and have just never really made it happen. But this is also, you know, our relations with other people is maybe really going to be filled with more of those conversations of kind of like the bigger and deeper subjects rather than the kind of surface level. We're getting more to the depths of what's really going on. Because Scorpio is represented in the tarot by the card Death, which has to do with transformation and transmutation, releasing the old, releasing patterns that are just no longer serving us. And so with this Venus in this death thing, I feel like your relationships to money, people, just everything that you have kind of been working with in that area, wherever Venus falls in your chart or Scorpio, is gonna go through this big transition that is just gonna be like coming out on the other side like, wow, I had no idea that I could be living this way. I had no idea that maybe this was who I really was all along, and I was really just stifling down this big part of myself. So I do see this sense of like a really big shift and stepping more into your true nature. So while the Venus is also making this transit, as we start to learn more about ourselves, also being gentle and nurturing with those more shadow aspects of ourselves that might be surprising or frightening to us. Because it's really going to be an integral part of what starts to create this new vision for you. What starts to create more passion, more free flow creativity in your life. So I'd say the overall energy of this week is to just kind of allow. Yeah, that's the word that is like first coming to mind. Allow yourself to be giving, allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to be whatever it is you need to be in that moment. Allow yourself more dedication to self-care. Allow yourself to think outside of the box, kind of letting go. Like I feel this sort of, it's almost like a heaviness of almost like I can't breathe fully, where it's like, this is like something that's just been like a burden for a while, and it's starting to really come to the surface and just be like, wow, that is just not working for me anymore. But it's so scary because it's so familiar. And so there could be maybe this sense of anxiety, but yeah, I just feel this like really heaviness, like shortness of breath right now. So take it very gently as this is coming up, and maybe really nourish your nervous system. If this is something that is just like a total, just like, you know, blows everything out of the water, is totally different from what I've ever been used to sort of thing, those revelations doesn't mean you have to just act on what's going on. It doesn't all have to make sense right in that moment when it does happen, but just allow yourself to take it in. So allow. All right. Awesome. Well, that is a lot to be coming up this week. So I hope it is helpful and insightful for those of you who tuned in. Thank you so much. So just a couple quick announcements. If you live in the Bozeman, Montana area, for the fall equinox, I am doing a coming back to ceremony workshop. It's sort of a ritual for fall equinox, but it's more of a teaching about coming back into self-care and relearning the benefits of having ceremony, whether just with a group or with ourselves. This will be a group thing. It is only a in-person class, so this will not be available on Zoom or anything, as we will be doing a yoga class as well as yoga nidra, some guided meditations, and a open circle for discussion, along with we'll have a closing of creating our sort of own little herbal medicine trinket, which will you can use throughout the equinox or for your own ritual at home afterwards. So I'm really excited. It's the first time I have created a workshop like this. I find ceremony to be one of the most amazingly grounding things for me whenever I seem to get lost. When I come back to my routines and reground into a ceremony, especially with others, I just always leave feeling so much more empowered and so much more ready to take on those things moving forward. So if you are interested and live in the area, the link is below. So feel free to grab yourself a ticket. Space is limited. There's only so many people we can have in the room. So make sure you get yours ahead of the event, as door tickets may not be available. And just to be able to plan for supplies and everything. So otherwise, if you want to stay updated for some other events like bonus classes that might be available on Zoom, or anything before I go on maternity leave, as well as any of my services, including, coaching, all of the things that I do in holistic health, feel free to just go to my website. You can subscribe to my newsletter that I send out every new and full moon. And just to check out what's going on, check out my shop, what things are coming for fall season. I'm really excited to be making those products. So yeah, come check us out. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm wishing you all a wonderful week. We will see you next time. Thank you.